A bill for an act to amend the 2023 Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 30th June 2024 to December 31st, 2024, and for related matters 2024. Third reading taking part. Let me welcome all of us and say congratulations on the first anniversary of the 10th Senate, which actually took place on the 13th of June. So today, being the the 20-something of June, I believe we are commencing the second year of our sitting. So 27th day of June is today, and so we are entering the second stanza of our 4-year sitting of the 10th Senate. So I welcome you. I want to say that with great enthusiasm and optimism, we're embarking on a new legislative year. I extend a very warm greeting to all of us, fresh from the Salah break. So, Barakah Salah in arrears. I believe that we have refreshed our spirits and also strengthened our commitment to stand together as brothers and sisters, transcending political, tribal, linguistic barriers. I express my deepest gratitude to you all for your unflinching dedication, effective representation, and unyielding patriotism shown in the previous 1 year of the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the face of challenges and various responsibilities, you have remained very steadfast in your mission to save the Nigerian people. You have been the voice of the voiceless, the champions of the marginalized, and guardians of our shared aspirations. Your tireless efforts in the pursuit of justice, progress, and the common good of all have not gone unnoticed. You have exemplified the true essence of patriotism, placing the needs of our beloved nation above all else. In the previous legislative year, this 10th Senate etched its name in the annals of history with groundbreaking bills and legislations that ignited the Nigerian spirit. We swiftly passed the 2024 appropriation bill in record time, and the President ascended this into an act of parliament on the first day of January 2024. This set the stage for a timely implementation of the 2024 budget. In response to our unwavering patriotism and sense of duty, we championed the Southeast Development Bill. We also bridged the gap between our illustrious past and our inspiring future with the National Anthem Bill of 2024. We went ahead to pass the Northwest Development Bill. We also passed the Southwest Development Bill. Of course, I had mentioned Southeast. What happened to the North Central? I'm sure that is an ongoing project. We also took a firm stand to protect our children and our future generations with the death penalty for drug traffickers bill. Not to mention the bill to increase the salaries of judicial officers in the country to ensure expeditious dispensation of justice, and the numerous other bills and motions passed in the best interest of our dear nation. We have traversed many obstacles since embarking on this journey, but there are still many challenges ahead. Our beloved Nigeria grapples with pressing issues that demand our immediate attention. We cannot turn a blind eye to the burning problems that afflict our great nation. We want to appreciate the executive arm of the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for improvement in the security architecture of the country. Let us be the beacon of hope and progress that Nigeria yearns for. Distinguished colleagues, I implore you to remain focused on the welfare of the people in your actions and decisions. Let us never forget that we are here to serve the Nigerian people, to uplift the lives of the less fortunate, and to create an environment where every citizen can thrive and fulfill their potentials through legislation. Our success will not be measured by the power we hold or the positions we occupy, but by the impact we make in the lives of those that we represent. In conclusion, I want to thank you immensely for the support and for your step in upholding the truth. 1 year. So seize this moment, remain united, be determined, so that we can forge ahead, and at the end, the dreams of our forefathers shall be realized as stated in the recently passed 2024 National Anthem, that we should together build a nation where no man is oppressed. Request for further amendment of the Appropriation Act 2023 and Supplementary Appropriation Act 2023. As you will recall, by an act of the National Assembly, the 2023 Appropriation Act and the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act were amended in March 2024 to allow for their implementation until 30th day of June 2024. This extension was necessary to allow for the full implementation of the capital projects contained in the budget, particularly those infrastructure projects intended to improve commerce, address challenges with security, healthcare, and education, and generally improve the lives and well-being of the Nigerian people. As many of these critical projects remain ongoing, I write to request that the Senate considers and passes legislation to extend the implementation of the Appropriation Act 2023 and the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2023 to 31st day of December 2024 to ensure that the provisions of the acts can be exhaustively implemented. While hoping that this request shall receive the kind, expeditious consideration of the Senate, please accept, distinguished Senate President and distinguished senators, the assurances of my highest consideration and personal regards. Yours sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is referred to the Committee of the Whole for immediate consideration.
Is the presentation of an executive bill standing in my name on the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act Amendment Bill 2024 SB 488. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
The 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act Amendment Bill 2024, SB 488, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Is the second reading of an executive bill standing in my name on the 2023 Appropriation Act Amendment Bill 2024, SB 489. Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate do suspend its Rule 78 sub 1 in order to read the bill for a second time.
I rise to second the motion that the bill be read a second time.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support of the motion say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President and my highly esteemed colleagues, the bill seeks to amend the 2023 Appropriation Act as well as the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act to, among other things, extend the implementation period to the 31st day of December 2024. The bills were read for the first time today, Thursday, 27 June 2024. Distinguished colleagues, you will recall that on Wednesday, 20th March 2024, these acts were amended to allow for exhaustive implementation of capital projects under the acts to the 30th day of June 2024. The extension will expire on Sunday, 30th June 2024, and many projects are yet to be completed. These bills, therefore, intend to further extend the implementation period of both acts to 31st December 2024 in view of the strategic importance of some key projects that are nearing completion, and to allow for continued implementation for the maximum benefit of the country. Undoubtedly, these will go a long way to avoid the compounding problems of abandoned projects. Hence, the need for the enactment of these proposed legislations to extend the implementation.
Distinguished colleagues, my name is Akpabio. Mr. President, I think this second reading speaks for itself. I want to believe that since the budget itself was an executive bill, and since it's the executive that oversees the pulse of the nation, if the reason that extending the lifespan of the budget is necessary to execute projects in order to ensure that no projects are abandoned, to leave out the specter of abandoned projects in Nigeria, Mr. President, to all intents and purposes, I think we should resolve to allow this bill to pass appropriately, knowing that the executive should be able to execute the budget and appropriately do so. And they owe Nigerians explanation if we pass the budget and they can't implement. They owe us and Nigerians explanation. Thank you, Mr. President.
While I rise to support that this necessary and important bill be committed to the Committee of the Whole, I want to make a very important observation. The main purpose why we want this supplementary budget extended is for the executive to be able to complete the capital budgets of the previous year. That is the main reason. Therefore, we should do such by explicitly including including a clause where it will indicate that the supplementary budget is not just a rollover, but an extension to allow the government to complete capital budgets. I have a reliable information that once we pass this budget, and it has been practiced, recurrent and current expenditures are being incurred in the name of that extension. And that breeds corruption. So we should, in passing the budget, put a clause that those to be employed, the projects to be implemented are purely that of capital, or maybe selected recurrent, if any. But if we do it blankly like that, I have reliable information that items that are recurrent in the previous year budget are being implemented because there is a blank check given to them.
I support this bill wholeheartedly because, as the previous speakers have said, there are many uncompleted projects. And in any democracy or in any government, once appropriation is not completed, it goes back to the parliament. It's not only here, it happens in UK, in US. So we're not doing anything illegally. And I don't expect the public tomorrow to start saying that the Senate is running, we have authorized to run 10 bills. As long as it's legitimately extended like we are doing now. The executive is the one with the purse, and they know the difficulties in collecting the money from taxpayers or from revenue agencies. And we are bound to extend the budget because some of these budgets have been paid 50%, 70%, or 30%. Are we going to leave it? The answer is no. So I urge my colleagues, we're on a legitimate track. Nigerians might call us any name. This is not about name calling now. This is about extension of the budget in our country, in our constituencies, in our districts. So it is not only, I also want to comment on what Senator Alain Dume is saying. The budget is not selective. The budget is all encompassing. You have to be one thing because the budget is one.
I'm also standing to support this extension, but I'm worried, and I want to express it, that government is a continuum. Please, in the next coming budget, say 2025, which they should carry over anything remaining in 2024 into the 2025. By this, we will stop all this extension and extension and extension. Any new budget should encompass part of the previous budget items that have not been implemented. And that should be the way we'll be going about this. Thank you.
I think that way, the issue of extension will not reoccur. I hope the chairman of appropriation will be well guided when he's dealing with the Minister of Budget and National Planning and the Minister of Finance and the Budget Office, so that way, whatever they are not able to accomplish by December, as they are bringing the 2025 appropriation bill, all those things should be included in those things for us to deliberate on and ensure that they are completed. Distinguished Senator Nengi.
And I represent Bauchi Central of Bauchi State. Mr. President, let me say I'm in full support of the provision to extend this budget to 2024 December. That is, of course, in tandem with the sweeping powers or near sweeping powers of the Parliament in the Constitution under powers and control of public funds. Section 80, 82, Section 80, sub 2, sub 3, and sub 4 has clearly demonstrated the powers of the National Assembly to prescribe into law how government money in the consolidated revenue is disseminated. Section 3 further also told us about how the National Assembly should make laws whereby monies actually comes out from the public funds. So the entire Section 80 inherently giving powers for us to do what we are asked to do. But as a pointer to that, it is important that this should not be becoming a normal procedure within the appropriation year period. It is important to understand we've started last year, and we need to put a thinking cap in making sure that this doesn't repeat itself in the subsequent years ahead. What I'm trying to say, this should not be seen as a normal, but it is necessary at this point in time because of the paucity of funds coming into the government revenues and because of the near need as an emergency to the citizens of this country in making sure that we allow this extension to move forward. Because all we do here is to represent the people and the people's interests. And the issue of technicalities, when it comes to fighting insecurity, when it comes to fighting hunger, should not be the reason why we turn down this resolution fully and well canvassed by the Senate leader. So I think it is important we do that. Lastly, it is important to also look at the last comment, which you have also alluded to it, whereby at the end of the financial year, some projects are not implemented. The financial bill has given us the right to carry it forward to the incoming year. That's what you call carry forward. And then it should be implemented, it should be joined with that next year's budget. It is important, lastly, sir, that the chairman of appropriation, the chairman of finance, should be able to make sure that before December, that this particular inputs are actually implemented. And if for any reason the government could not do that, they should report back to the National Assembly for discussion. It is important that we do that. Even as we are doing that, we do not know of what percentage has the supplementary budget been implemented. We need to know the percentage. We need to know how many remaining to be able to have a 100% implementation.
Where we are considering the appropriation bill for 2025, the committees on finance, the committees on appropriation, the committees on all the other organs that make up the budget process should be able to ask questions. And if, for any reason, some of these projects are not concluded or fully implemented, then they should submit the level of implementation, and we should include it in the next year's budget.
Distinguished colleagues, while I align myself to the extension of the budget, I would really like to throw more light on what Senator Indume really spoke about. As we are extending the budget, we should, as a matter of responsibility, exclude recurrent. And the reason is this. If, for instance, in the budget, the initial budget, recurrent shows an item where seminar or conference would have been attended, but wasn't attended because there was no fund. Now that you are extending the budget, that means it is going to be carried over. Meanwhile, the period of such exercise would have been gone. So I think we should concentrate more on capital. Capital items should be the items that we should concentrate more in extending, rather than extending both capital and recurrent.
And then, because of this extension, somebody decides to appropriate or to take the money for a seminar he did not attend. Then it means ICPC will look into it. So don't worry about it. The agents, all the agencies of government have different jobs to do. But I take cognizance of what you have just said. But remember what Senator Oju Sakalo said. We are extending the lifespan of a budget, and we are extending the lifespan of the supplementary budget. The other issues of implementation are left to the executive. Then the issue of oversight is left to the legislature. Distinguished colleagues, those who support that this bill be read a second time, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. They will now revert to Committee of Supply.
I move that the Senate yet again suspend its Rule 78(1) in order to read the bill for the third time.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this bill be now read a third time in compliance with the suspension of our Rule 78(1). Those in support of this motion as seconded say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act to amend the 2023 Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 30th June 2024 to December 31st, 2024, and for related matters 2024. Third reading taking.